I do a lot of research. Basically try to understand how different materials affect fires. It involves a lot of formulas and gathering data. I met this girl once in grad school, and we got to talk about all kinds of things, and also about God. It was great. I could share with her what I believed in. And then I got busy with my own research, and realized I may have treated her like a project. Like, I kind of expected her to change herself. But people are so much more than projects. There's some kind of human connection to it. I think we're supposed to share our lives with those around us, but sometimes just being with them, being their friend, that's the best way to find true connection. And that's what witnessing is to me, relationships and friendships.
Hi, I'm Pastor Elardo Davis.
I'm Pastor Denny McCullough.
We are the hosts of our Bible study series, Words of Wisdom. In 2 Timothy 3:16, God reminds us that all scripture is given by inspiration of God and is profitable for doctrine, for reproof,
for correction, and for instruction in righteousness.
Words of Wisdom is a specially designed program brought to you by ATN in an effort to share the Advent message to our friends and faithful viewers who are yearning to build a growing and saving relationship with Jesus Christ. If you want to learn more about our rich Adventist heritage, basic fundamental beliefs, counsel on courtship and marriage,
or simply a deeper study of God's written word, then join us Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. on our Facebook and YouTube pages, as well as Channel 98 on Central TV. Join in and be a part of this special Bible studies effort by praying that God continues to lead and bless this ministry, by becoming a faithful viewer and inviting your friends and family to like and share our programs, by your kind donations and of course your generous financial contributions. Contact us at 416139351 or send us an email at atn@cbm.belizeunion.org. We are located at 10 3/4 miles Philip Golson Highway. Thank you for being a part of the ATN ministry. It is our prayer that you will keep the book of the law always on your lips.
meditate on it day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to that which is written therein. Then thou shalt make thy way prosperous and have good success.
Life comes in different seasons. I embrace change, and while it adds value to my life, I also need some kind of a vision. Like, where am I going? What is my guide? The Bible reassures me. God's word never changes. You know, the rain is gonna hit, and feelings and opinions come and go. I mean, we live in an unstable world. God talks to me through his word. It's like a fire that keeps me alive. Here, I can find rest and peace during all uncertainty. Studying the Bible gives me assurance every day.
Vision show before KTV. You come alive. It's so good to be here with you. I hope you are excited for our topic this evening. I'm your host this evening, Jalen Pascascio, and my co-host,
Keisha Dennison.
and our returning MVP guest.
Again.
She said again like she said a beer.
No, I'm always excited to be here.
All right. We thank you for being here.
Thank you as well.
If you haven't done so already, I mean, it's a lot of time, even though we're late. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to our streaming platforms, whether that be Channel 98, Facebook, YouTube, and or Twitch. We want everyone to join in the conversation this evening, yes? Our topic for this evening is the great conflict. It's not a great controversy, sir.
Yes.
But instead of against powers and principalities in high places, we battle against flesh and blood. You see what I did there?
Oh,
You see what I did there?
wow.
Yeah. So we're talking about conflict and conflict resolution this evening, yes? Sounds good?
Seems about right.
All right.
Considering last week we were talking about grudges.
You know what? It's divinity at this point because we never necessarily lined it up like this.
But it just so happened.
It just so happened to line up that way. So God is good. In all
that's
things
right.
we give thee thanks and for all things. Yes? So jumping right into conflict. What does conflict look like to you? Not ask you what is conflict, because I think we know what conflict is. What does conflict look like?
When two people disagree.
When two
That's
people
what I
disagree?
think. Well, two or more because it could be a group. So when yourself and others disagree on something.
Yeah. I second that notion. It could be in whatever volume of people. But most of the time you notice conflict, it's between two people because there's always, a differentiation in opinions and understanding and misinterpretation in some form or the other, and that's how, the volcano erupts. So that, yeah. It is, the reference is actually on point because it's like a build-up. Because, the conflict doesn't come right away. It's always the backhanded conversations, and then it comes to light, and then two parties or whichever amount of people, they go head to head, and that creates the big blow up within the situation. So the reference at the volcano is actually accurate in this.
All right. So from what I am hearing from your two answers, I will answer it before I say what I'm hearing. For me, conflict, I lean more towards Alanah side with the behind the scenes thing, and then it spill out. Because the moment of conflict, at least this is how I analyze it, the moment of conflict is the explosion.
Yeah.
Where there's a whole build-up behind it, and there's a whole intermingling of things and emotions and people behind it. But we're gonna get into that a little later. Mm-hmm. So it draws me back to last week's topic, holding grudges. Mm-hmm. And in last week we said many things, but one of the things were the unknown intentions, or the unknown or unintentional mistreatment or something bad, and then we hold grudges,
right?
And then that is one of the things that builds up the scenes, and then it spill out.
That escalates the situation.
Listen to me, you go from 0 to 9,000 real
quick.
And then if anything like some of the conflicts I've seen in just my workplace alone. Remember?
Go there.
No. We don't talk about it. Remember last week I said that on the point of grudges, we had the people in a sweat fever.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't want to be too specific because next thing with the people that are working.
Exactly.
Because we want them to see how to effectively deal with conflict.
Right.
Yes. So something happened between two people where we don't know.
Right.
I
just pull up
I
on the
just
spot.
pull on the spot. No,
Right.
mind you, not even 10 years yet. Just leave it a time out of there. And then the loyalties are established, sides are taken. I weigh the balance.
Yeah.
And then, bam, this big thing spill out the work, and then this one of the talk to the one, and this one back to this one fan then, and this one I say money, this one I say man, this one I say backbiting, backstabbing, and then us drape you up here in the middle of it, and then things spill out, and then you hear people to get
drastic in the spot.
Drastic, they got people they make complaints about food. And then,
not you being specific.
But like I said, it's always something behind the scenes, and then it's worse when they bring other people into it. Because you're a neutral ground in this whole thing.
At this point,
you have no idea.
Because you just pull up on the scene.
You have no idea what is the history of these people. And then they just expect you to pick a side.
Yeah, right. No bad thing in that situation.
And then it put me to another situation that I've been in personal conflict with. And one of the sides expects you as a neutral person to establish loyalty. And because you not directly stood on my side, automatically you were for the defense team.
Yeah.
You're a backstabber.
That's the automatic assumption. Once you're not on my side, you're the enemy.
Yeah.
I faced that multiple times whereby people want you to establish your grounds. What if I just no want be in it?
Just to mix in there.
Yeah, and that's what people fail to understand. They just want everybody understand their own perspective on a situation, and we supposed to run with it. And their depiction of loyalty, it isn't, I would say, relative to my own. My loyalty is with both sides, so why would I, create more conflict? That's more extension to the conflict, more impact to the conflict, because I already said, all right, well, I'm going against you. And, me and you already had some type of dynamic, some type of friendship, some type of relationship. So I am already establishing myself against you, so it creates such a big issue within, the context of it all.
I feel, cause like when I started working in the it was the last half of the school year. It was my first year teaching, like actually working, but it was the ending of the school year. And I started because it was in the middle of the pandemic and everything. And because I feel like I'm a friendly person. I feel like I get along with people. If I don't know you, I'm not going to go and instigate or listen to what no one else has to say. I'm going to get to know you for myself. And I started working, and I was friendly with everyone working at the spot and everything. And all of a sudden there was a shift in like everybody's energy, and I was like, well, this don't make no sense, because I don't know you, I don't know anything about you. Why am I being drawn into something I have no idea about? And it was quite uncomfortable, because I knew you guys know each other from however long you were working there. I knew I'm trying to get along with everyone and everything. And I remember there was an incident where it was time to do, I feel like I used the wrong word, but appraisal. So it's where I go into not necessarily a meeting, but like a meeting with the principal. I get asked questions and different things. And one of the questions asked was, how do you feel about the environment at work? And I was like, I don't really know how to answer, because the principal was like, okay, you need to like go out there, well, not necessarily go out there, but try and be nice and everything with everyone. I was like, yes, I understand that. Like, I tried, but I don't feel like, and this was my personal opinion, if I'm new here, like, yes, I'm going to try and make friends with you, I'm going to be nice to you, but I don't feel like it's my spot to make the effort to go and make that friend with you, because I'm new here. I don't know how things run here. I don't know how you guys do things, so I feel like you're here longer than me. Try and make me feel welcome.
Extend olive branch.
Right. And then it got to a point where me and the principal got close. We're like close friends. And I know where to draw the line between co-workers as being friends and where you're coming to me as my boss and I need to give you that level of respect. Like, I can differentiate between the two when she comes to talk to me. And one of the other teachers don't know how to do that. So anytime she goes to her, she feels like she's coming to her as a superior and like she has to whatever. And it's not that, like, sometimes she just comes to talk to you as, hey, how are you doing? Alright, type thing. But she doesn't take it that way. And so she felt like because of the relationship that I have with her and the principal don't really
like
get
she's
along
showing
like that.
favoritism towards you.
She would ask me something so that I could ask and then come back with a response, and I'm like, why are we doing this? It doesn't make sense. It feels like conflict, and I don't like it.
It does, and things could get lost in translation with that type of relationship.
Because maybe the way how you're asking, I'm not going to ask it that way. And maybe the response that I get will be different from the response that you get based on how you're asking the question. So.
And how the relationship now with them two, that's still the same thing, or?
We're not going down that road. It's not a conflict or it's not a problematic relationship type thing, but it's just where, like, you talk to me, I'll talk to you because you talk to me and I have to respond type of thing.
Okay.
So there's a
it's just
potential.
a cordial thing.
Like a work relationship.
I see you, you see me, we see each other.
Yeah, that right there.
So, since you alluded to it then, you run ahead of me.
I'm sorry.
Have you ever, I want to ask two questions.
Okay.
But one part I want to ask first. Have you ever been a part of conflict on the receiving or the issuing end?
We will answer first.
Please, all of us can answer the same.
Alright, I could go first. I in my past life, I've always been right.
30 years.
And I always tell you this, Jalen, in my past life, I was such a different person, and I always was in conflict. Always.
You know the problem starter, what you try to say?
I don't know about the problem starter. People always had a problem with me because I feel like I'm a very vocal person, and some people don't know how to receive it. And I know at times I was at fault with my delivery as well, and that created the conflict in itself because you have to know how to talk to people and how to say certain things.
Some people don't know that.
Yeah, but many a times I was on the receiving end and the issuing end, but resolving the conflict in those kind of situations, it was actually me who reached out to the person who was at the receiving end of that, or this person who rang me in that situation. I was always the one who ended up reaching out. And
as a mature, communicative person.
In my new life, I refuse to be where the conflict is at, where you know, you say, oh, wake up and choose violence, and I'm not doing that anymore.
Don't use my words against me like that.
I'm not using, I'm not, with conflict, when I suspect it, when I detect it in workplace, within family, within any, type of form, I choose to stay away from it. I refuse to let anyone disrupt my peace. And within any conflict with whoever it may be, my friends, I try mediate in whichever way I could, because being one outsider looking and you're the reason for the issue initially, it doesn't make any sense and it's stupid. So that's my outlook on it right now, like being on the issuing and the receiving end of conflict.
I feel maybe kinda ish. I'm not a very confrontational person. I don't like drama. I don't like problems. I really I remember mentioning, I don't remember if it was last week or the week before, when I said even if they call my name, I ain't in trouble because I don't like problems. Right? So I try to
Stay
away, keep a distance. Don't try to engage in things where I feel like a conflict may arise. Like I look at all perspectives before I say or do something just to avoid a conflict. I don't. So when like I'm in a conflict, like I just
observe.
I observe, but like I just be quiet because like sometimes if I say something, I know I'm gonna regret it or I'm gonna be disrespectful. So I like just
keep out
of it. Like for instance, towards the ending of the school year this year, it was report cards.
Oh, I'm gonna say
No. I feel like I'll come up with that right now. We are still how they are progress. It was report card day, and earlier in the school year, I mentioned to the principal that I was having certain issues with my class and everything. And there was this one particular parent who, for the life of me, I cannot seem to understand what the issue is. Because I've spoken to her, I've sent her messages, she's called me and all kinds of stuff regarding her child. And I tried to be this very understanding, nice person. I don't like to tell on students in that sense. I don't like to cause a problem if it's not needed. But her child is one who is very stubborn, very disrespectful, and does not like to do his work.
Everybody's so creative.
Right? And I remember there was one instance where he was very upstart towards me, and I was like, excuse?
Pardon? Sorry?
And in the moment, all I could do was, okay, just leave it there. It's whatever. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to do. You could just leave it there at this, because he already did it once and it was wrong. Like we did a whole explanation in class, and he was busy talking. He came to me, Miss, what am I supposed to do? Excuse? I told him what I'm not going to, try and stop a child from passing or whatever. And I explained to him what it was he was supposed to do and everything. And he came back again. I was like, go ask your friend when to talk to, because I don't got time for this. He got it wrong again. I said, you know what? Take it home, take your time, do it for homework, and bring it back to me tomorrow. His mom helped him did the work. Work was still wrong.
Still
wrong. It was still wrong.
What?
They were doing a Venn diagram type thing. So you have one side and one side, and then where it meets in the middle. And I don't know what concept they weren't understanding, but they weren't understanding it. And it was a whole school year problem with this specific child. And the parent came to me when it was report card day, came to me, told me, I was going to come yesterday. No, this is not report. The day before was not report card day, but she was like, I was gonna come yesterday, but I was in the hospital and I just came out. Gave me fishy whole life story really. I wasn't feeling well. I had a headache. My belly was hurting me. I was tired from the day before because we had a lot to do at work. And so I was like, you know what? I didn't even bother. And she went off because her child didn't really do the best. And she went off. And I was like, if I answer Lord, things don't get real. And now I tell me about myself and I answer my box. I kept my mouth quiet the entire time. She left my class and she went to the other teacher and complained to that teacher about me. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, if there was an issue prior, and you said you spoke to the principal about it, it's not my fault that your specific concern was not directly addressed to me, right? So yes, I was told about certain things, but I wasn't told about a specific certain thing that made me understand why the parent was so upset. And I was like, this don't make no sense, brother, because what? So like, I I try to like not, because honestly in that moment I felt to like call that parent and tell her off and
Wow, not to love.
yes, because the reason that she gave made absolutely no sense whatsoever. And I was like, you know what? No. Let's be the bigger person. Let's not fall or lower ourselves to their level. Let's rise above.
Also, not choose hell.
We're not choosing hell. Okay. No, we're not choosing violence. We're not choosing conflict. We're choosing peace.
Right.
Because if I had said something, I probably wouldn't have had a job this coming school year. And I need my job right now. So we're not going to go in the opposite direction. So when it comes to teaching, there's always going to be conflict between either you and a co-worker, you and your superior, you and your student, you and your parents. There's always some type of conflict where you will have to decide, is this something that I want to engage in? Like you have to choose your battles. You can't win each one, so you have to choose.
Go ahead.
You have to choose which ones are worth it. Because you might win, but was it worth it?
A win is a win.
No, sir.
A win is a win.
Is it worth it? Some conflicts aren't. You have to decide which one is.
For me, a win is a win.
Okay.
And with winning, we take a little break. We'll take a little break right here, and then we're going to be right back. And we're going to continue the conversation on the great conflict.
Right.
Wow.
Yes, don't go anywhere.
We're fine. It's been crazy lately, though. Last week, this tornado just crashed through my entire neighborhood. Everything went dark. We had, no electricity, nothing. All of my classes are online, and that's why it's really difficult to keep up with everything. But, I think God calls me in the midst of all of this chaos and noise and, I don't know, everything. But he doesn't compete for just my attention. He competes for my heart. That's why I need to spend time with him in the quiet. And it's so interesting to me that even though I'm with him in just those quiet moments, experiencing him is not quiet. It's so much more, much greater and fulfilling. And that's the fascinating thing. His power is not just bound to those quiet moments, but they give me the trust and strength that I need every day.
Are you on a health journey for the new year? Have you been looking for nutritious and delicious health food substitutes and cannot find it anywhere in town?
Well, we've got good news for you. Raquel Imports proudly presents a new Soya Pack line of products, which includes soy-based milk options and meat substitute, 100% caffeine-free corn coffee.
What?
Yes, you heard that right. 100% caffeine-free corn coffee and much more.
This can't get better than this.
These products are now available for immediate purchase at Raquel's Imports, located at 3A Street, Kings Park, Belize City, and coming soon to a store near you. Direct message our Facebook page or call us at 611-0601 for more details. Soya Pack,
a healthier option for you.
We're back from a very short break. I promise you the bricks are getting shorter each time.
This one was extremely short.
This one was the 25 seconds. The 25 seconds.
And the comments coming in
I
because
apologize.
I feel like we've
We
been
had-
talking all the while.
That's very true. We had a comment here from Eric on the point where you said to avoid conflicts. He said sometimes it's not easy to avoid. Which is true because sometimes you really just mind your business like
Yeah,
me.
true.
Like me. Me at work, I really just go to work, sit down at my desk, do my work, enter my invoices, getting it done rapido, collect my stipend.
Yeah, but
Because you really can't be.
you need to tell Happy a trade. He says stipend. Like, excuse?
We give the Lord thanks for his providence
That's right.
and his unwavering blessings
That's right.
of my account on the 15th and the ending. But that's not the point here. The point of the matter here is I really just be minding my business, staying in my lane, talk to my one friend at work. And then
Oh, you
problem-
have a friend at work. That's nice.
Yeah.
So rare of him.
That's true because I'm not making it because some people just so.
Get up.
Anyway, so I just be minding my business and then the problem they just come right near this.
Not right on the draw.
Right near this because people really just pull you in on a conflict and it's insane. And we're going to hear a little bit more about it in just a few. Before the break, Keisha was telling us about conflict at school. So I thank you for taking it to your personal situation
You're
with your
ever so
workplace.
welcome.
But I want to hear from our guest who works at a financial institution.
Name not to be said.
Yes, we signed an NDA, so we can't mention the name on camera.
Okay.
Right.
But tell us, friend, what has the workplace been like with conflict? Because I could imagine it's a very tense working environment.
It's very, very tense way. Your work is very demanding. Working with other people,
It's a tragedy.
it's a tragedy, and I say that's a light word for the description for that. But having to work with other people in such a fast-paced work field and having different types of working styles, that is what creates a lot of conflict within the workplace and miscommunication and misinterpretation, and the way how, like I mentioned before, the way how you talk to people is essential, and especially within that type of institution, that's a foundation. You need to know how to assert yourself, how to articulate exactly what you want to say, because if you're going back and forth and constantly getting into a whole lot of unnecessary run around, people want to lash out on you after a while. And especially customers. Customers are coming and complain about you and
Just go burn down their house.
On camera?
yeah, on camera.
How would they know? How would they know?
They won't. They actually won't. But yes, like I was saying, getting to interact with all types of personalities. It's been super hard for me. I know my first week, I got into it with a customer.
Wow.
Excuse?
Yes,
Your
my first week. Because I guess people come from their house with their own problems, and I
Right.
feel like they must project that on me, and I'm not the one to receive that. So I give you what you give. Well, in that situation, I was slow to anger, but the customer really did a lot, and then he did escalate the situation, and then afterwards, he never came to me to resolve any of his issues because he told the supervisor that he had an issue with me personally. So in that situation, I felt as though it was something stupid. He could have resolved that with me easily just by a simple conversation to assess where we went wrong within that situation. And recently, today, another conflict happened.
Wow.
Another one. But things are often lost in translation, and it's left open to interpretation, and people assume. So
It's not good to assume.
yeah, it's not good to assume because I didn't say one thing specifically. Like with certain people, you have to give certain instructions,
You have to craft
step by
all
step.
of the T's and
And
dots.
all the
I
eyes.
just can't left one untouched.
Exactly, and in that situation, the person was like, "Well, I don't want to deal with you. I want to deal with somebody else because I need somebody way." Explain exactly, fully comprehensive about the explanation, but it's something that you should have known. Why should I, go and tell you over and over and over again? You're my senior. You're supposed to know all of this already. Why am I the one who supposed to take the fall for this?
The senior and not knowing
What to do, and that's a problem within. I don't even want pinpoint the spot, but it's always an issue like that. It's mostly miscommunication, and that creates the conflict. And with that particular institution, conflicts are not open for interpretation to other people. It's always secretive, but always backhanded conversations. Oh, I don't like her. Then over here, this party said, oh, I don't like him either. And they rally up their own sides, and then there's a spar between the titans, basically.
Wow.
What a spar.
All of that happened behind the scenes of the people who didn't get any money.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, they think they're so prim and proper. And they're not.
It's another number one financial institution in the country.
But the miscommunication within any group or any form, that creates the biggest conflict. Well, for me, my personal experience.
On the point of miscommunication and especially the point of loss in translation for the workplace, I mean, this one not necessarily specific to mine. I'll get to mine in just a few. But in the meantime, drop in the comments if you've had any personal conflict that you would like to share with us and how you handle it. In the workplace, because one thing about me, I'm a write a little email.
You sound like a grandma. That was my sister though. She write a nice lengthy email.
She not appreciate. Okay.
I not write a little
Stating
email.
how she.
I also write a nice email.
Write a nicely little email.
Just last week, I sent an email to a department, and it was passive aggressive, but that's why I wrote it intentionally. Like, please get it together. You're slacking up, and it's preventing me from executing my duties.
Right.
Also translated, is the essence of the email.
Right.
But I think emails where it really go wrong.
It does.
Because, like, I've had it because I've heard it before that a lot of my friends say if I send something to Keisha, she'll be like, I heard you say that, or I know exactly
how you say
it. But that's because we have an established relationship, so you understand exactly what I mean when I say certain things. But for other places, not like the work, you really
right.
You don't have to deal with them maybe once a month.
Yeah.
Right.
You send me a little email and you really feel like the email say, oh, thank you so much for your assistance. If you'd be so kind and so blah blah. The person get it. So you not get your work done so I could do my one.
That's how they receive it.
Lost in translation and then the person come to be like, just for clarify, what am I the intention of the email?
Right.
So she really thinks she just could and then one could talk to anybody how she wants.
That's how you go.
Unnecessary conflict.
Right.
And that's the thing, communication, and it's really a two-sided sword because it can be easily understood and easily misunderstood. And I cannot tell you what's the magic recipe to make people understand exactly what you mean in our text, but
this is what, if I have something I need to get out and I need to speak to you, I'll be like, no, not even that, because I feel like even in voice notes, it gets misinterpreted.
For me, yes.
So I'll be like, listen, we need to talk, but I can't talk to you over the phone. Like, we need to do this in a person because I don't want you feel like I give you attitude. But I want you to get it in a person to get the attitude.
Right.
Yes.
Because you know what I say? I don't want to say something in what I feel is a decent tone, and then you on the other hand are like, excuse? No, because it don't make sense. That's not what I'm saying. So when you talk in a person, get it in your head.
For me, if I feel like the message will get misconstrued, I will send a voice note.
Me too.
But the problem with my voice notes
It's the same thing as the text.
That's what I'm saying.
Apparently, I have a
Tone.
sarcastic tone naturally.
Yes.
Everything. Everything.
I cannot really, like, I could modulate, I make a song a little bit different. But half of the times when I feel like the song is straightforward and sincere, the person will be like, so what are the sarcasm for Jalen? And I promise you, I'm not.
So what you're saying is you don't know how to change your tone. Is that what you're saying?
Make it feel something. I don't question the voice that God gave to me because what I can do with the voice. Anyways, when I hear for talent show, but yeah, and then people really be like, so you mean to try fight, you mean to try pick me,
right.
you really want something, and no, that's not what I mean. Like, they have a challenge. Say these things and try not to sound sarcastic.
Right.
I fail every time.
Yes.
Every time. I just want to shout out right here. Adrian just came.
You're late today.
Late. Adrian says, hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back, Adrian. Thank you for joining in our conversation. But for me, because I want isolate a situation, not necessarily pinpoint anything, but each of our perspectives on conflict at work is a little different. My one at work, it's a little more obvious. We was not really behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. The only reason it's behind the scenes is because the other team or the other people gang up. So it's obvious their intentions.
Right.
There's nothing behind the scenes just spill out. No, you can see exactly what they're going
Well,
to do.
cannot have time for bubble up. It just spew.
The point of view is you're standing on top of the volcano, you just watch it there.
Right. Watch it there. You need to get one while it come on.
That's what happens at my work most of the time.
That's tragic.
Yeah, and then you had Lee. The very obscure moments when things happen behind the scene, and then it spill out, and then you hear a whole other thing. Oh, Jalen this. Well, they never hear Jalen this. Because Jalen don't mix itself in a conflict like how you don't put raisin in a coleslaw.
Right. Who does that?
I like that. I like raisin in a coleslaw. Man.
Okay, we're not
no judgments here. Not here.
Man.
Right, so far we've covered what conflict looks like.
Right.
But I've yet to find out. Because I feel like I know. Do you know?
Well, I
just say yes.
Okay, yes. No, I don't know. I feel pressured.
How does one effectively handle conflict? And I mean, because we only have a few minutes left.
Right.
A broad spectrum, not necessarily specific. It could be because conflicts happen in work, friendships, relationships, marriages, families, parent-teacher, parent-student, student-teacher, a whole lot of different ways conflicts happen. But how does one effectively handle and resolve conflict? Because that's what we want to get to the end of here.
I normally just avoid it, Like I said, I really don't like conflict. I hate it with a passion. I don't like conflict.
Yeah.
So I try to look at the other person's perspective to see, all right, maybe I went wrong this way. Let me try and fix that. Sometimes I'm not in the wrong. And it's just you who has the issue. Like, it might just be a personal issue that you have with me that I can't do anything about because it's not me, it's you. Right? So if it's fixable, if it's on my end, if I can fix it, I try my best to. Otherwise, I just avoid it as best as I could. I would I'm not here, you can't see me. Yeah. That's how I do. How I do. I try my best not to get into conflict with people because I'm an emotional. What's the word? I'm an emotional person in the aspect of if you look at me the wrong way, I might just cry. Like if you raise your voice too hard after me, I might just cry. If I get too angry to try answer you, I will cry. And I'm like, I will cry.
You will cry.
I will cry. I really don't like being in like the middle of a problem, so I try my best to just keep out of it, Keisha. Don't know your problem, listening, make me figure it out on your own.
That's not a good perspective on how to look at it. Well, for me, conflict resolution for me, it's always targeting what's the source of the issue. Like we tackle that. What the actually the issue here is? Was it my tone? Was the issue with your communication? Was it your tone? Because like what you said, it could be either party. So if it was that, we'll talk and try to come up with different interventions on how we could prevent this issue once again, and that's probably an effective medium on how to avoid a future issue. And I would say that's the all around way for me to resolve conflict or identify it, talk about it, have an effective conversation. Not just me speaking, I have to listen as well, and listen to understand, not listen to respond.
That's why God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Exactly.
Okay, then. For
Jalen.
me, I usually in a conflict.
Because you stand
Jalen.
you say. You just ignore me?
No, I said it last week. I stand on my boots. I'm very cautious when I'm navigating.
Right.
So, I'm grounded. I don't want to step on the next thing, the board me loose, and then I twist my ankle and drop and bust my face.
Right.
That seems very extreme.
Not because there really a snowball effect.
Yeah, that's right.
Because you slip and slide?
You slip.
That's
and
right.
slide.
So you better not slip.
Home base, you're just gone. Straight out of the field, into the parking lot, highway, down the road. You're just gone.
And then you're getting over? Okay.
For me, I haven't been in that much of conflict. Because really, when I see conflict,
you run the other way?
No. My thing is, and it might sound wrong.
Okay.
When I see I'm being involved in a conflict, I just deduce it to you are in a personal conflict with your mind and the demons in there. And that have nothing to do with me.
Okay.
You can't control the people that in your mind, and then you want to come split out for me and work.
Okay.
Because remember I always tell you, beef have to be two-sided, but I've never had beef.
Right.
So it's been one-sided.
Right.
And my thing is, if you have a problem with me, have a real problem.
Right.
Be because I do something to you, I say something to you.
Right.
I'm a mean, I'm spiteful. Something that's not like me, kind of like me.
Right.
So that won't work. Conflict just because I know the person. Be for real. Be for real. Get it together.
No,
Get
because
it
it really be like that, and especially. Oh, I don't want.
Not say it.
No, it's not the one that happened this school year.
Okay.
But like, oh man, spilling some tea here. We had a particular teacher at the school I work at, and she was very.
Who? Another who?
Jesus, fix it. Wait, I have to find the right words because I don't want to be. I don't want to sound mean.
Take your time,
right?
Time, for what?
Right? She was very. She was a very capable person, right? She has a lot of potential and all of that. Like if she works hard enough, she can get the job done effectively. And it was still the pandemic going on and stuff, and so we were doing online classes and sending home packages for students to complete. And the whole first term, this girl just never done her own. Like her, literally every other class was doing online classes, were getting their packages sent home and brought back. Her class got absolutely nothing. the whole first term and part of the second term. Like, the students were just not doing anything. And the parents were complaining and they were bringing it to the principal, but it's not the principal's fault because it's not her class. I mean, yes, she's supposed to get behind it and get things done, and she eventually did, but it's not her fault, so you can't go and blame her and complain to her. It's not a conflict between you and her, it's a conflict between you and your child's teacher who was not doing anything. And then she was like, but I don't have internet access. We come to school, Miss Mams. Excuse?
Okay.
We have internet access at school. Excuse? We're having different time slots provided for the different teachers so we don't all have trouble getting on the internet, because our internet was very whack at the moment. So multiple people couldn't be on Zoom at the same time. So we had different slots for different teachers. And then her next excuse was, oh, but the parents don't have no internet home and they don't have no devices. Excuse. Then don't package what they put in there, because I don't understand why the children are being punished in the sense of they're not learning anything. That seems very personal to me, and you seem to not understand your job as a teacher. I mean, she eventually got her ducks in order, but I mean, there was definitely a conflict whereby the principal had to get on her case constantly, and then she didn't like that, so she found issues with the principal too, and it was a whole mess. She no longer works there. Because she, she had personal issues that she needed to attend to. But I mean, if you're going to work in a place where you know what, or you possibly know what the situations might look like, especially given that it was a pandemic at the moment, like, you know that there are certain factors that were going to affect how students learn, how students get their work done, and all of that, then you need to get your ducks in order. Because I don't want to say the other word. You need to get your ducks in order and do what you need to do and not have conflict with the parents, because when the parents come to school, we'll part this teacher because I have a miss, now bring that pen, this come. If you might just want to know what's going on. Because now I feel attacked. And then even me I want to talk to. Right? So like, I'm like, this, or sir, like, just give me 1 minute. Like, you could just take a seat, calm down a little bit. I'm going to get the teacher for you. Just
calm. Right. That's a very good.
You need to be calm.
And I'm gonna give you a little rundown right now on how to resolve conflict. We have a comment here from
Sir,
Agent.
why your flashlight there? Sorry, it was just distracting. Sorry, guys.
Agent says, fire can't turn off fire.
Right.
In other words, sometimes just waiting until both are calm and ready to talk is the most effective way to bring a resolution.
That's very true.
To conflict. But I want to give you some substance, some gumption.
Okay.
On how to handle conflict.
Right.
You know, first of all, like Alanah said, you must find the source of the conflict. Not just assume where you think now the problem.
Right.
And
because you could assume and I could assume, I not get
two different things.
Assumptions.
Right. Both parties need to have a mutual understanding of the problem for it to be resolved. It's the first step. The next thing you want to do is find the right place and time.
That's true.
Because in front of people,
you will get shame.
Well, no, because some people really like an audience.
Yes, they
some
do.
People really need an audience to validate their
actions,
stance.
yeah.
And then rather than, because no.
Like, you're right to do that. Tell them excuse?
Right.
Get about.
So find the right place and the right time. Listen, like Alanah said, actively and let everyone have their say. You cannot just,
shut your mouth.
No, and then you have to like punch your bear.
Right.
And we're not by fish, you try to resolve conflict.
Right.
Investigate the situation. So there must be some facts presented.
Right.
Come with the receipts.
I got me.
Oh. All right, determine what the goal is. The goal is to solve the situation.
Right.
So that could be anything. If it means then that you two cannot see eye to eye, you all just need to avoid each other,
Right.
so be it. But there has to be a clearly identified solution to the problem. You can't just
assume the situation was solved.
Well, it is what it is.
And it has to be the key word here is mutual. It cannot be, when everything is done, it cannot be one side still felt like the other side's perspective was more valued or their stance was more important than yours. It has to be a mutual thing, right? Next, you have to agree on the best solution and determine the responsibilities each person has in getting to that solution. So if it means that there must be some apologies, there must be some corrections, there must be some work done to get to that better place, that needs to be established in the moment. We can't just be like, all right, you did this to me.
Right.
Apologize and move on. No, we have, if we did something that we need to prevent, we have to establish the preventative methods there.
Right.
Yes?
Amen.
And the final one is, not the amen, a word. The final one is evaluate how things are going and decide how to prevent it from happening in the future.
That's true.
Because the last thing we want is a repeat. We know, you know when the DJ bring back the track?
We don't want to bring back the track again. Not the scratch record.
Matter of fact, take the track off of the
record player.
Right.
Broke it up, shred it if you have to, throw it away. We're not trying to have a rerun. The only thing we're allowed to rerun are Friends, Golden Girls, and a few other shows on TV.
Nice one.
Nice. So those are effective ways of handling conflict. And I'm going to give you the opportunity again, if you haven't done so yet, and you know someone who could use these tips, it's not too late to send them this live. It will be up after we end here this evening. Yes?
Yes.
I had a direct message. Someone said, don't forget the Jesus method. You know what the Jesus method is?
What's the Jesus method? How God look on conflict. How Jesus looks at conflict.
We talked about it last week in Holding Grudges. If you even so much as think that somebody have a problem with you, you don't have a problem with them. You just think that they might have a problem with you because they're a big hater, and you can't really do nothing about it. You can understand what they hate. You're supposed to be the person to go to that person and sort it out. And after that, and Mr. Matthew, somewhere in Matthew, I don't remember the exact verse right now because I always use it. You go to the person, if they don't want to have anything for you because they really feel like you are the devil's fan and they really don't want to talk to you, take somebody else.
Right.
And if one person don't work, then you forget more people.
Because it won't get solved.
Right.
Tonight.
Matthew 18, the commenter sent it. Matthew 18. You can go and look it up if you want to and not have necessarily the time to read all of that. But as we talk about getting someone else involved, work. They like to say I care problems at HR. But I just, from what I've seen, HR could be very biased in the situation. So that means then
that's true.
That it might not be that person to mediate anything. It might have to be someone who has no attachments at all to the situation.
That's true.
That will be the neutral ground to have this thing solved.
Exactly. That's true.
An important part of all of this is you have to resolve the conflict. I know I hear, oh, well, I mean, nothing.
Yeah, right. You know what I say, you know what you do.
Right.
Get your act together.
The great conflict. So we are down to, I think, let's see, 2 minutes. Do we have any final thoughts you want to leave with our viewers this evening on conflict resolution?
Conflict resolution in general. God, Jesus, God, the Holy Spirit, 3 in 1, does not like conflict. Conflict brings strife, and that's the stronghold for the devil.
Right.
All right. So to sum it all off, conflict is a very substantial situation in whichever situation within family, especially family number. We're not going on about the family, within the workplace, friendships, or whatever it may be. But ensure that there is an open ground for communication to resolve these issues, and like what we mentioned before, listen to understand, not listen to speak, so you could come to a common ground on how you guys could move forward with anything that you go through.
To add on that, make sure that, I don't remember, I think it was you who said it, both parties need to be calm, or was it you? Someone said it, I don't remember. Both parties need to be calm in order to like get to the, because it doesn't make sense if I'm heated, you're heated, and then heat, no, just like more heat, it don't make sense, right? So both parties need to be calm, cool, collected, be like, all right, just give me 2 minutes, Mecca. Gather my thoughts, calm down, and I will come back to you and we will solve this. Both parties need to be calm, you need to be understanding. Don't try to, like you said, talk over that person. You need to listen, to actually listen and understand and comprehend what is being said, because just because you say I'm listening doesn't mean you understand. You need to listen to understand. When you understand, you can think about what the person said and then you respond. That's a healthy line of communication there. So both parties need to be calm, you need to listen to understand and then speak, and that should be a good way to solve your problem, your conflict.
You know how I would, I've done it before, there's maybe been a few times, not a lot, because I really just
maybe twice.
My tip is, as assertive as you are to clear your part, you have to be just as receptive. Because you can't just be like, oh, I'm going to tell Shia because you're wrong for that. Akeisha, I have hate for you because I really just want to push you down and fight for this gas because you did one thing for me. You have to be, that's the energy, you have to be just as receptive, because now, after you done tell Keisha all how much is wrong to you, you can't just be like, well, I've done it, she don't want nothing more to do with she. If that person wishes to come and resolve the conflict, you cannot put your pride sky high and want nothing to do with that person. You have to be just as receptive, because if we cannot be equal in that light, there will always be conflict. And I know of some people who are always in a problem, always in a conflict, and I know that there's an imbalance in those two things.
You're the fighter in a demons, get your inner demon checked out, because why you have so much anger? It's not normal.
Such an angry little man. No. And with that, we have come to the end of another Youth Come
Alive. And our God, just like that.
And our God, just like that. We thank you, our viewers and our commenters, for being here. We do this show for you, so we appreciate you for tuning in every week. We thank our MVP guest,
Alanah, once again,
for being here. And with that, we wish you a good night, and we see you next week, same time, same place. Bye.
As a non-profit organization, the Adventist Television Network solely relies on your financial support. By partnering with us through a monthly donation, you will help us to continue to fulfill the mission in taking the gospel into all the world. For more information, please call 613-9351 or email us at atnfin@cbm.belizeunion.org. Thank you for your prayers and support of the ATN ministry, and together we may hasten the soon coming of our Lord Jesus Christ.